You're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network. Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Alan Seagulls.
And I'm Liz Eston.
And welcome to Carried Away, a podcast where we explore the films and television shows starring the one and only James Eugene Carrey. And we're finally there, guys. We're finally into the big one, the one that's going to take up your podcatchers for a few weeks. Maybe not every week, but for a while. We could say that this is the first step towards him getting that career. This is where he walks into the water and he doesn't quite catch a wave yet. This is In Living Color. The first season.
You won't roll the moon, float like a balloon. You see, it's never too late and it's never too soon. Take it from me, it's alright to be in living color. And how would you feel knowing prejudice was obsolete and all mankind danced to the exact beat? And at night it was safe to walk down the street in living color.
Only season one.
Only season one.
Walks into the water and doesn't catch a wave. I think he caught plenty of waves.
I don't think he caught the wave yet. He's still just kind of bouncing on like the little baby waves. He's not riding it yet. He's not on that tidal wave of Cable Guy.
Well, that's true. I mean, okay. Tidal wave of Jim Carrey career, yes. But I think like this is a legitimate.
It's a bump.
It's a bump. It is a legitimate step up from his previous project, which was
Pink Cadillac.
It was a legitimate step up from his previous project, Pink Cadillac.
Doing roughly the same bit though.
What? How? Okay. Well, I guess in the background.
Kind
Pink
of in
Cadillac,
the background and
there.
hoping you forget he's there.
But no, he's got he's like leading some sketches. It's not like he is an extra in every sketch.
Okay. There's a very famous quote by Michel Gondry, who would go on to direct Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which Jim Carrey plays a very depressive character in that. And he goes to Jim and he's like, "Why'd you pick me for this?" He's like, "Because I saw in living color, you in the background, you look so sad, and I knew there was sadness in you."
I knew there was sadness in you, and therefore I will put you in my movie.
I knew if you can harness that depression, we will make great movie film.
What is he, French or
he is very French.
She's French.
Italian? What accent was that?
For Jess, it's anything.
It was like
yeah,
it was kind of like
yeah.
Scott-Talian.
Any European language mixes together eventually if I keep on talking. In Living Color was released on April 15th, 1990 and ran from the first season ran until September 9th, 1990. Created and showrun by Keenan Ivory Wayans, starring Jim Carrey, Tommy Davidson, David Al Greer, Takia Crystal Kamaya, Keenan Ivory Wayans, Kim Wayans, Kelly Cofield, Damon Wayans, and Kim Coles. And some of the Fly Girls are Rosie Perez, Deidre Lang, Carrie French, Carrie Ann Inaba, Lisa Marie Todd,
Carrie Ann Inaba.
Thank you. Carrie Ann Inaba, Lisa Marie Todd, Michelle Whitney Morrison, and coming in future seasons, the one and only J-Lo. And every episode, I believe, in this first season was directed by Paul Miller. And this is a fascinating story of how this show came to be. Do you know the story of why In Living Color exists?
Tell me more, young one.
So, basically it started under the title Black Laugh-In. Like, they really just wanted to have a version of Laugh-In with a black mindset in mind. The Wayans brothers were involved, and they were hired to make a 1-hour pilot for Fox. And in that, they just, of course, they had auditions. None of the Wayans brothers were immediately hired. They had to audition, and then they knew they wanted at least only 2 white people, a girl and a boy. They weren't sure who they wanted, and many people auditioned for Jim Carrey's spot. And I am going to center this a bit around Jim Carrey. We are a Jim Carrey podcast, so apologies if I don't go too deep into that. Other folks that auditioned for that spot included David Spade and Adam Sandler.
Ooh.
Who would have been... I don't think they would have been bad, but it would have been different. Now, Damon Wayans worked with Jim Carrey in Earth Girls Are Easy, which we covered a few weeks back,
Truth.
And Keenan Ivory Wayans went and saw him in stand-up, and his words were, "I can't believe this man is still in stand-up. Like, why has he not made it?"
Jim Carrey was a guy who had 3 careers before I ever showcased him. And he had a career as an impressionist in Vegas. And he was doing quite well. But he hated it. And he quit. And he went back to doing stand-up. And I knew how talented this guy was. But he kept getting these roles that didn't showcase him. He wasn't able to do what he does. And this was the perfect opportunity. And Damon was the one who brought him to my attention. You know, when I was casting, he was like, what about Jim? I was like, oh, yeah. You know, I was like, he's a little crazy. They was like, yeah, but that's good.
They brought him along, as well as Kelly Caulfield, who would be the two kind of token white people on the show. And the show was designed to be SNL with a higher production value and executed better. And what do I mean by executed better? Meaning they would shoot it live. Like, this is performed live in front of an audience and adjusted like it's SNL. However, they had tape and they could fine-tune things later. They could add the special effects. They can make things as neat and clean as they can, and it was only a half hour.
So it was a sitcom version of SNL.
Yes. They had sitcom abilities, but, But the Fox had that original pilot, which had a lot of things from the pilot that would have inevitably air. You would have Men on Cinema.
And now Public Access presents Men on Films.
Hello, I'm Blaine Edwards, and I'm Antoine Merriweather, and welcome to Men on Films. We're going to be reviewing the latest films from a male point of view.
And, what is it, Homeboy Shopping Network?
Yeah, Homeboy Shopping Network, yeah.
And those two were, like, the big ones that the network were really worried about.
Yo, all you bad bargain hunters out there, welcome to the Homeboy Shopping Network. Yo, we're the host with the most. I'm Wiz, this the Iceman. Chillin'. Yo, show 'em what we got.
Oh, and Wrath of Fracacon, I believe
That's
it's called.
That's in the second one.
That was still in the original pilot.
Oh, okay, it's called Wrath of Farrakhan.
Farrakhan. Wrath of Farrakhan, and those three things were big sticking points with the network that made them drag their feet into airing this. Every one of the cast members had a contract for a show, but they weren't picked up yet, and they dragged their feet to even air the pilot. So what did the Wayans brothers do? They started just sending the pilot out to people. And folks like David Alan Grier, who knew nothing about this, was getting recognized for this pilot that has never officially aired just because they started sending it out and getting good praise. Once reviews started coming in for this pilot that never officially aired, Fox agreed to greenlight this, cut it down to a half hour, cut out a few things, but they really wanted those three skits cut out. And Keenan Ivory Wayans said, no, if you're going to let me have creative control, let me have creative control. And they said, fine, but if this has blowback, it lands on you. And therefore, they picked it up for, I believe, 9 episodes. And once it aired and started doing good numbers, it got picked up for another 5. And, yeah, it was an immediate hit. I believe it was Damon Wayans who told his brother, all crime stopped in New York because they were all too busy watching their show. And it's a very interesting kind of section of time, the mid to early 90s, where something like this exists, and it is so interesting, so, I won't say even transgressive, but so specific. What I discovered when I was watching it, I don't know if you felt it felt like black culture reacting to the dominant white culture for the past, especially white television, of the past 100 years. So you had things like I Love Lucy and Wrath of Khan and all these things, but getting the reaction that we've never had of it before. So these spoofs feel brand new with a new impression on it that I had never seen. I don't think anyone else had ever seen. As well, every skit, like the short skits are like a minute. At longest, they are 4 minutes. And they fly by, and you can't get bored with one of them. I think it is structured brilliantly.
Laquita, I'm home.
Hey, sweetheart. Here's my sugar. Mwah. That's my baby. I'm right in the middle of painting my nails.
Nails?
What about dinner?
I got some pig feet steaming on the stove.
Pig's feet? Ay, ay, ay. My mother told me never to marry a crazy redhead from Compton.
Well, you did.
Well, the set, I wanted to comment too on the set. I didn't realize that it was, I guess, yeah, when you have the ability to like do post and editing and whatnot, the production value of the set when they did, I mean, even in the very first episode, what was it? The Jefferson spoof when they like rebuilt the entire set.
Yes.
I was like, SNL wouldn't do that, and they have production value. I mean, like this brought in some production value in live sketch comedy that I had never seen before. Still haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. And the way they would work, every episode took about 2 weeks, and in that second week, they'd also be working on the next episode. So at one time, you were working on two episodes at once, and they would write and figure out that first episode in week 1, then they would shoot it in week 2, while also writing the next week's.
I mean, that makes sense.
And it sounds, I don't know to me, but it sounds like exhausting. I know SNL is a marathon to get done every week, and I am amazed anyone does it. But this also feels equally difficult because I don't know if you have this feeling, but if I'm given the chance to polish things, I will polish to the last minute.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So you don't want too much time because you fall in love with things too fast. And much like SNL, there was a lot of good work being taken away just because it just wasn't going to fit into the runtime, or it was too long, or it was too XYZ.
Well, did they, because they weren't streaming it live, it wasn't live to broadcast, it was live?
No, it was not.
So, you're saying it wasn't even live to tape? It was...
It was live to tape, and then they would probably trim and polish things every now and then, but they really... The specific thing they wanted was that live audience, which I think this is like one of the best like audiences ever. They are very like reactive. It makes sketches better, and it allows for in the moment improvs, which I see David Allen Greer do a lot, and he's so good at it. I don't know if anyone else agrees with this, but I think David Allen Greer was kind of the MVP of this entire season.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well,
totally.
I came out of this knowing who they all were. Mm-hmm. And for good reason, too. So, and there's things that I still to this day remember fondly as watching this as a kid. I was watching Fire Marshal Bill and Homie the Clown and all sorts of things. It did a lot to educate. As a white guy with a white family in a white community, it was really interesting to see these sketches come to life because it was part of life that I had never experienced. Some of the stuff that they had talked about.
See, that's a little different. I grew up in Detroit, and everyone would talk about In Living Color and reenact those sketches at school every day. Like, I remember going to talent shows where they just reenact a Homie the Clown sketch. Like, these were well-known sketches, and everyone kind of talked about them.
Sit down. All right, kids. I'm Homie the Clown. Y'all ready to have some fun? Yeah! All right, what y'all want me to do first?
Homie,
what?
Now do a silly clown dance for us.
Oh. Yeah, degrade myself, huh? I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
And amazingly, a lot of everyone in this show kind of became someone aside from some notable absentees. But the show was a pretty controversial thing in its time. Even like there was not the most positive reaction from the LGBT community to men on films at the time, which understandable. In a similar way to the Boondocks, like worried about falling into stereotypes and portraying stereotypes as opposed to basically mocking them the same way anyone else would. But they also did a very famous episode where they were forced to go, the entire cast was made to go on Donahue. I don't know if either of you remember what Donahue was.
Yes, I remember watching Donahue.
No.
Alan, explain it. It was more your time than mine.
It like predated Jerry Springer. It was one of those things where it was sort of trashy. We will say it was not the highest quality citizen who would come in, and it was a lot of like paternity tests and domestic disputes that were aired, the grievances aired and resolved live on air. In the form of trying to be a serious daytime talk show.
Get him crazy. Keenan,
Are you all right with the censorship? Is there a censorship department at Fox?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't think we're allowed to say anything.
Yeah, right. We can't talk about
I see.
it. No, actually, the show. I mean, the whole intent of the show was sort of to stretch the boundaries of what has normally been seen on TV. So it's a constant sort of battle with the censors, but it's a good work environment. And I mean, I understand that they have a job to do, and they understand I have a show to do. So we try to find some middle ground and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's trash. It is Jerry Springer. It's not quality content for television. I want to say, as someone that has revisited the first season of SNL within recent years, this has a better starting point than most variety shows ever have. Like, things that would become iconic are started in their first year here. Like Homie the Clown and all that. It is right here. It is fully formed in this version of In Living Color. And have you ever watched the first season of SNL, either of you?
No.
I've seen clips that my dad remembers fondly because he's old.
It is deeply unstructured and unpleasant. It's like the Muppets were cast members on SNL, which is why it's baffling to me that they've never hosted.
Wait, actual Muppets?
Literally, they will say, and the Muppets.
Okay.
Where Jim Henson would do like a little puppeteer thing and James L. Brooks would work on little films. It is an interesting time where it is a true variety show where just weird things will happen.
Well,
it is
Lauren
not
can't get it
mostly
right every
comedy
time.
based. Well,
they're all on coke,
doing.
so
Oh yeah,
that's what happens when you're all on coke and you make
ever
a
seen
variety
Elmo
show.
on coke? That is something.
See this critter right here? That's where he lives. Now you get down there. So you're small enough. Go, push. Get down there. Get down there.
Yeah, I'm down here, but
Now,
what a mess.
what do you
I've
see
never
down
seen
there?
such a thing. I'm trying to see what I can find. Oh, what's this hanging over his bed?
What's that? It's a picture of Lily Tomlin.
Cookie Monster gets the munchies.
And Larry David chokes him.
Wrong Muppet.
That being said, that first season still had some highlights, and that first season is the only one that Chevy Chase was on. He left after season 1, so that chaotic, weird, not really funny season is the only one Chevy Chase was connected to.
That makes a lot of sense.
Let's talk about the Jim Carrey of it all. He's not in a ton of it, and he often is the straight man in a sketch, which is neat and shows his versatility. I think that he is putting on a different face than he was ever allowed to. But he's allowed to do more than he ever was in, say, The Duck Factory.
Yeah, this is the first time he can turn on the rubber body, turn on the rubber face, turn on the rubber everything, really. And it works in a lot of I guess I am impressed in that it's not just the same rubbery inflections in every character. He makes distinct extreme choices per character and never breaks them. They all their specific mannerisms.
Hello and welcome to America's funniest security camera videos. I'm Bob Saget. I'd like to say hello to my daughter. She's at home right now throwing up with the flu. I hope they're taping it. Oh, we're kidding. I already have that on tape. Anyway, as you know, we get videos from security cameras installed all across the country. Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a video sent to us by Ali Bahad Camcar. Ali works in a Lucky 11 convenience store. And boy, am I surprised.
But are they good impressions? Like, that's the thing I was struggling with. I'm like, they're definitely a character, but is he good at doing the impression of this person?
For comedic effect, in terms, like, he's not going after the Academy Award to play this person like an Andy Kaufman, like Man on the Moon. He's trying to be an exaggerated version of it. So there's a distinct difference.
But let's just say his Bob Saget in America's Funniest Home Security
Yeah,
videos.
I was trying to figure out what celebrity he played in that because I knew it wasn't the host of that show.
Well, no, you're thinking of when he was the host of The Tonight Show.
Oh,
and he was
yeah.
playing his co-star from Copper Mountain, Alan Thicke.
Yeah, he played Alan Thicke because the impression of Johnny Carson was too, like, or whoever else was, like, not funny anymore.
Yeah, everyone did a Johnny Carson.
Welcome back. I'm Alan Thicke, sitting in for Johnny Carson. Because everyone knows at this point another Carson impression would be totally passé. Ed won't be here tonight either. He woke up with the head of a Clydesdale in his bed. I guess when you're in between marriages, you'll bring home anything. All right.
I really thought he did a terrible Bob Saget. I didn't know what I've seen clips of Bob Saget at the time, and that was not a particularly impressive one.
No. He does a decent Ted Turner, to his credit.
His Ted Turner is great.
He is a very good Ted Turner.
I think that skit, his Ted Turner is very colorized classic. The Red Fox is the Kid is probably top 5 sketches of the season.
Hello again. This is Film Vault King Ted Turner doing whatever I please with more classic films. This is the original print of The Grapes of Wrath. Gonna put it in those little Viewmasters and try to market them with pictures of the California raisins on them. Now, I understand a lot of you people have an innate respect for the artist's original vision. But I have something you don't have. A receipt of purchase!
His Captain Kirk was pretty good. I mean, comedically.
Yeah, that one is good too.
Yeah.
Very funny.
It's obviously not completely what William Shatner sounds like, but it's the comic version of what he should sound like.
Captain's log, Stardate 14. We're being pulled towards a hostile planet. I'm hoping that Scotty will be able to activate the backup control systems. God, I feel so vulnerable.
Truly, I think his properly great impression, because it is technically 2 impressions, is his Jerry Lewis. His Jerry Lewis was next level incredible in the Jerry's Kid skit.
Oh, yeah, the Jerry's Kids, yeah.
He apparently, people that have Jerry curls are miserable and it's a disease to them. Great bit, great. But his impression, he's doing like suave, like Buddy Love, Jerry Lewis, who's like, well, tell us about this. And he's, and then we're gonna sing. It's 2 very distinct, very difficult. I really, it is hard to do a Jerry Lewis, and he nails both of them.
Oh, yeah, totally agree.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
This is love. And love is this. If you're just joining us. It's the 21st hour of the Jerry Kids Telethon. We're here to fight a deadly affliction. One that is suffered by millions of inner-city youths across this great nation of ours. This is Rodney Washington from Compton, California. And this is the dreaded activator that he craves so very desperately.
The Jerry Curl one was great. I mean, I just think he plays all of the characters very sweetly. He's not mean in any of them, and they're all innocent buffoons. So I don't know. There's something endearing about how he plays all of these that really like he's not trying to, and maybe this is part of the direction. He's in no way overshadowing or taking away any of the focus from the poignancy of what, like the racial poignancy that the sketches are the commentary that is trying to get across. And I absolutely respect him for all of that, for not trying to steal focus. He was funny, but he's not stealing the focus of the message.
A perfect example of that is in A Date with Grace, where
love that one.
David Alan Grier is on a date with Grace Jones, and I forget the woman that played Grace Jones. Incredible impression, hilarious interpretation, and he's playing a very broad French waiter, but he knows that it is funnier if he plays it straight. But he is so hilarious at getting the snot kicked out of him by Grace Jones.
May I get you something to drink while you wait? Yeah, I like to unwind. Could you give me a Chablis? Blind date, monsieur? Yeah, how'd you know? When you're French, you can just tell.
You must be Harvey. I'm Grace Jones.
Hi, Harvey Bennett.
Do you think I'm sexy?
I said, do you find me sexy?
Yes, extremely. May I get you something, monsieur? I mean, madame.
I'm in the mood for seafood.
Like, that is a perfect interpretation of just what you're saying, Alan.
Yeah.
How he is not stealing the scene, he's holding his own, but if you take him out of it, it is significantly less funny.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with Wrath of Farrakhan. Again, like Farrakhan comes in and he's like, here are all the things that white people have done, and how dare you, white captain, treat all of your crew people of color this way. And Captain Kirk's like, you're right. All right, next person, let me ask you to do your job. And then that person's like, well, no, I'm not going to do my job anymore because it just rolls on. And so he doesn't fight it. He agrees with every single statement because it's true. And then just moves on and runs away in Jim Carrey fashion. Again, it's one of those things where I look at it and I'm like, I don't know if it's the writing or if he was directed to do that, but in every scene like that, he's just playing the buffoonery so sincerely.
All right, we got to talk about I would say the one that kind of became his most popular, the one that probably has aged the worst, but is the one that they always used to promote the first season. And that is, I got to find it
Vera
again.
DeMilo,
Vera DeMilo, bodybuilder. Ugh. So Liz, sum up this sketch.
Okay, so this is a bodybuilding competition, and the first two women come out, and they're not very muscular, and that's the joke. And then Jim Carrey comes out wearing a non-existent bikini, pigtails from his own natural hair, and something else, and I can't remember, and is the strongest woman of all the women, and I don't remember. I kind of blanked out the back half because I got mad. But yeah, he basically is just mad at Vera DeMilo, the bodybuilder, who is a woman, is like just screams at the audience for like 3 minutes, I'm pretty sure, about how she's so strong and sexy. Pretty sure.
I will say there's only one thing that made me chuckle in this sketch because I don't find it particularly funny. And that is when Jim Carrey sticks his stomach in and out, and I believe the announcer, who I'm pretty sure it was David Alan Grier, is like, "This is a tribute to women giving birth."
Yeah.
That was the one thing that gave me a chuckle.
Entrance, the lady, the controversy, the perfection, Vera DeMilo. Oh, she is awesome. Some say she's gone too far, but I have to disagree. Of course, she's the only woman on the circuit who goes to the bathroom standing up. Reports are that you have used steroids. Do you care to comment on that, little lady?
Yes, I would, Roger. I don't know who's starting those rumors, but I do know that there are a lot of jealous people out there who aren't willing to do the work it takes to look like this. Let's face it, women see me, they want to be me.
Well said. Well said. Could you just tell me one more thing then, Vera?
Sure.
I gotta ask you this. What is that bulge in front of your trousers?
Now, a girl's gotta have her little secrets.
My brother and I still do that to this day, that move.
That's the Cool Hand Luke move, isn't it? To fit more eggs in your stomach.
What?
I just pulled up the Vera DeMilo bodybuilder sketch, and is he wearing like stuff in his dentures? Does he have fake dentures?
Maybe.
I don't
is he?
know.
Or is he dipping?
I know he might be wearing stuff down his pants, if you know what I mean.
No, explain it to me. I don't get it. Explain it. What do you mean? Get it?
He might have packed his penis to
He
look
might have
bigger.
padded his thong.
Packing the peenie.
Yeah, he's wearing a leopard print Speedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite part is this isn't even the last time we'll see this. He pops up as Vera DeMilo many more times.
So we'll have this
I hope he gets
conversation
funnier.
again.
I hope
I'm
so.
sure it'll only get funnier every time he does it. That is the first running character we see of his. Like, I don't think any of the other ones are going to pop back up. Maybe William Shatner. Like, none of his iconic, like Fire Marshal Bill does not appear in season 1.
No. That's halfway through season 2. Oh, we skipped over in the very first sketch of the very first episode, the pilot. Love connection. Jewish woman dates a black man. We hear, it was as a throwaway line, Jim Carrey's first alrighty then.
Yes.
Yes.
I will say, first one on camera. In his stand-up currently, the way he introduces himself is like, "Hi, I'm Jim Carrey. How are you doing tonight?" Alrighty then, not giving them a chance to respond. That is where that first started. This is the first time ever saying it on camera, though, and as far as we're concerned.
Yes. Sorry, lost my train of thought.
No worries. It's okay. It's okay. I've done it before too. In that love connection bit, don't think I found that one particularly funny. The only thing to bring up there is that he does say "alrighty then," and I forget who was playing Mike Tyson, but they did a great impression. That was a fantastic impression.
Was it Damon Wayans?
No, I don't think so.
It might have been Damon.
But yeah, I love the audience's reaction to that impersonation of Mike Tyson because, I think at that point you didn't make fun of Mike Tyson.
Yeah, you would lose an ear.
You would lose a body part if you made fun of Mike Tyson.
Or get your nose smashed.
Hi, Marvin. How you doing, Chuck?
Hi there, Mike. How are you?
Well, I gotta say, I'm really ecstatic to be here.
All righty then. Robin, tell us how the date started.
Let's talk a little bit about my two favorite sketches, and probably we should do a little ranking of our favorite Jim Carrey moments in this, but I think Bad Karate Class is a top one. I remember that one so much when I was a kid, where he's just bleeding all over because they actually stab him.
You made the common mistake that most newbies do, and you attacked me the wrong way.
You're supposed to do it up here, and then
you bend your elbow. You have to keep your arms straight.
10 out of 10. Great interpretation. You know what makes that scene? Something that you don't think about when you think back at it, but it is the most important factor of that is the mustache he has on.
Oh yeah, he is wearing a mustache.
It is one of the funniest pieces of set dressing to that character.
Welcome to the first meeting of Complete Self-Defense for Women. I'm Bob Jackson. I have a black belt in karate, and I've studied martial arts for over 20 years.
Oh, my God, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean it. Are you all right?
I'm fine. I shifted my internal organs to avoid the knife. However, like a lot of beginning students, you attacked me wrong.
Oh.
You're supposed to come at me like this. Remember that and try it again.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And then that one I think is probably my number one. And then my number two is probably the Exxon Family, because it's just him doing his Buster Keaton-esque body movements for 10 minutes, and you don't even realize really what's going on there until the punchline doesn't come until the very end.
Oh, they made you out to look like such a klutz, such a moron. The media really took advantage of you. After all, it wasn't your fault that your tanker hit that reef and leaked all that oil. Just because you're the captain doesn't mean you should be responsible for every little thing that happens to your ship. And when the tanker did start leaking, well, the company did just what they were supposed to do. They laid down a containment boom.
Got it! Coming this fall, it's the Exxon Family. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, and that sketch was a replacement too for the DVD release.
I mean,
yeah.
Now, what would it replace? Was it Billy D. Williams sketch?
It replaced Bolt 45 malt liquor,
That's
which
a
is only in
weird
the
one.
original Fox broadcast, but is available on YouTube.
Why did they replace it? Do you know?
Wikipedia didn't really explain
Because
it.
it's making light of date rape.
Oh, it is? I didn't watch it. So
Yeah, so the Colt 45 sketch was seen only once during the original broadcast. It was omitted from repeats because some felt it was making light of date rape. The skit was cut by Fox censors, and the necessary modifications were made to the master tape, but Keaton accidentally mixed up the masters, and the original master was broadcast. So it was always supposed to be cut out, and then Keaton sent it to air anyway. So, yeah, this is... as far as Goofy Goofs go, a replacement, I'd rather have this one than Billy D. Williams, date raping an unconscious woman going full Cosby.
Yeah, this is a running thing, by the way. A lot of sketches get cut and replaced, or things get changed and censored after broadcast. This will continue.
You know, when I'm spending a relaxing evening at home with my very special lady, I like to treat her to the very best. I wear the finest clothes, serve the finest gourmet foods, and we enjoy the sparkling taste of both 45 malt liquor. There's my lovely now.
Yeah, Keenan Ivory Wayans wanted to push boundaries, and with that, you're gonna hit the boundary eventually.
My favorite note is from season 3, but I'll save that for when we cover season 3.
Oh yeah, we got it. Will come faster than you think. I'm glad they replaced it because I think the Exxon family is a funny bit. I think
it's really funny. I enjoyed it.
Like, good Christian humor.
Who QCs
Not in my
these
Christian
master
Minecraft
tapes?
server.
Like when you get a tape from your delivery person and you're like, all right, here's my master for broadcast. Doesn't somebody watch it first to make sure
You
that
would think
it is what it's supposed to be?
I actually have a really depressing story that's similar to that.
And it is?
I had a film that played in a relatively big festival called After Ashes. Love that film. I think I did a really good job with it. I submitted it, and it got accepted with the final version, but accidentally submitted a rough cut with imbalanced audio, so you couldn't hear one character's voice throughout the entire thing. And that's the one they played in the screening.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, that's a nightmare.
So you didn't win.
I mean, I didn't, but everyone in the fucking theater, like all the people running it, are just coming up to me and like crying, like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I am too.
Oh,
it's so sad.
Truly, one of the most horrendous experiences. So it does happen.
Well, I'm sure then David Wayans was like, all right, cool. Maybe he gave the wrong master on purpose.
I think it was Keenan Ivory Wayans, but he probably did.
He might have, yeah.
I will say when it said accidentally, that accidentally was in quotation marks. So take that for whatever it is.
Oh well. All right. All right.
Is there any other sketches with Mr. Jim Carrey that you thought were really great that we have not mentioned yet?
That's a good question.
He's not in a ton of this. Truly,
No.
I think the thing that I was impressed most in this rewatch, I love the Fly Girls. I swear that was the part where I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to watch this for a bit. I think most variety shows just needs like breakdancing in between. All right, guys, how about we move on to our critic corner, where we compare our opinions to those of the critics when this first came out. The first review comes from THR's 1990 review. They say, like all good satire, In Living Color will upset some, if not many. When it pokes hard, aiming right for the funny bone by way of the heart. Ironically, black viewers may be the most offended by Wayne's humor. So precise is its accuracy. It is a chance Wayne's is obviously willing to take to bring laughter to a new generation of variety viewers. Yet by its very hip foundation, In Living Color may be limiting its audience. His street-smart humor could easily be lost on the massive older generation of viewers, to whom The Golden Girls is legend, but it certainly fits perfectly into FBC's projected demographics. Teen and young adults will love it. And so will progressive moms and dads. Why do you have to be progressive to like this show? The show doesn't feel particularly progressive, aside from, the diverse cast.
All I know is this article doesn't have an author. Its author is THR Staff. So.
Fair enough.
Mr. Staff.
Mr.
Definitely
THR.
Not a Trump fan.
His first name is THR. His last name is Staff. Mr. Staff had these thoughts.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair assessment, but also it's 1990. Whatever. How about we move on to our kind of letterbox game, where Liz picked out real letterboxed reviews, and me and Alan have to guess whether they're 1-star or 5-star based on just the review alone.
Here we go.
How about that?
Well, this is your first episode. Normally this would be a letterbox game, but In Living Color is not on Letterboxd in any manner, so I went to the only place I could. The Season 1 DVD reviews.
The Amazon ones?
The Amazon reviews for the
Oh
Season
my
1
goodness.
DVD collection.
I am so excited right now.
They are unhinged in areas that I didn't expect.
I remember getting the Season 1 DVD in like 2004 or 5, so these could be old and really, really insane, so I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah, this will continue for the remainder scenes of In Living Color, most likely.
So get your reviews in now, kids.
So review the DVD collections on Amazon if you want me to include it in the episode.
I like the idea. There's no way they can physically do this because of how early we record these. By the time this episode comes out, we will have recorded all the other ones.
Yeah, probably. All right, who's gonna go first?
Alan, his name starts with an A.
Okay, Jess, you're gonna go first because you said it. Because
God
every time you say
damn
it,
it!
you go first. So,
All right, let's go.
You need to learn your lesson. I have to agree with the other reviewers have asked. What took so effing long? I remember that watching this show was almost like a religious event.
It is like church. 5.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's a gimme.
I had to
Easy
think about
one.
it. It's the sad part. Like, that was not me playing to think about it. I was like, what did that review say? It was like a code I had to decrypt in my head.
Oh, God. All right. Are you ready, Alan?
Yeah.
Not spending upwards of $40 to $50 for a few laughs. Not happening here. 3 shrug emojis, 3 side-eye emojis, 2 facepalm emojis.
If the emojis exist, this has to be a relatively recent review.
Then I guess it doesn't sound like they're happy with the cost of season 1. I'm going to go with a 1 star.
That's a 5.
Shut up! No!
I'm just reading
losing
what's on
feel.
Amazon, man.
Oh, I'm losing my touch.
All right, are you ready, Jess?
Jess, I am.
Yes, it met my expectations.
That is a 1.
That is a 5.
I would have given it a 5.
All right, Alan, just to make up for you not getting the first one, I'll read you my favorite.
Okay.
This is a very long one, and it's probably a giveaway, but I enjoyed it so much I had to include it.
Okay, I'm ready, and now the
This is
pressure's
a
on.
story.
I'm gonna screw it up. Here we go.
This item saved my butt. I borrowed a copy from a friend, and somehow it came up missing. I was so glad I was able to buy it from Amazon so I could replace his copy. He never knew I replaced the old one. Thanks, Amazon. I pulled it off.
Thumbs up. 5 star.
Thanks,
Correct.
Amazon.
Yeah.
This is on the public internet, by the way, so if that friend saw this review, they know what
That's where my
happened.
11 color DVD went.
Hey, this doesn't smell like my DVD. What's wrong
Yeah,
with this one?
don't mention you lost items you need to buy for your friend on Amazon because they might see them.
I mean,
so,
it
pro
wasn't
tip.
signed, was it? Who cares?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I forgot to look at the dates on these. So, all right, are you ready, Jess?
I'm ready.
Where Jim Carrey was better known as the white guy, and J-Lo was nothing more than a backup dancer. This is from season 1. I don't know why they include J-Lo.
J-Lo was not there yet.
J-Lo's also in season 3.
She ain't no holla back girl. That is a 5.
That is correct. All right, are you ready, Alan?
Alan, I am.
In junior high, I remember screaming with laughter over this series.
Now I just cry with sadness.
Now I just
over this
cry
scene.
when I
Yeah,
watch
that's
this
the
show.
implication. So that's why it doesn't seem obvious. I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna say 5. I'm going 5.
That's a 1.
Yeah, I know it.
Alan,
I
you
know it.
failed.
I knew it. I knew it. I was like, that's the implication. I didn't trust it.
Jim Carrey's the only funny one.
That's not true.
I don't agree with this at all.
That is a fundamentally untrue one. That's a 1 star, though.
That is correct.
Fundamentally disagree with that. Honestly, Jim Carrey is equally like, this is a great group of people, and it gets greater as time goes on, and then it gets shitty again.
It's incredible cast season 1.
It's okay. We know the Waynes eventually leave, and we'll talk about that when that happens.
Yeah.
It is remarkable that Jim Carrey stayed as long as he did.
Alan, are you ready?
Yes.
See stars before they were stars.
I see stars.
I'm gonna go with
many stars.
5
at night.
again. I'm going 5.
That's
5.
correct.
Yes.
Okay, there's 1 left because odd numbers. So
Math. But I won
math.
anyways.
And you guys happen to be tied.
What?
Yeah.
That's not how math works.
Wait, let me see. What I mess up? No, you guys got 2 wrong each, and there's 8
Well,
that I've done.
all right.
So,
All right.
so
Alan,
do you guys do a buzzer beater?
She
I think
focuses
we
on
need
the
to-
negative. She doesn't see how many we have right. She has focused on how many we have wrong. Appreciate it.
All right, Liz. Why don't we do a buzzer one?
Okay, ready?
Ready.
Wait. We're both gonna do it at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to buzz in to answer.
Tiebreaker.
Okay.
It's the tiebreaker question.
Okay.
Man, I
Buzz
missed
5.
this show.
Buzz
I
1.
forgot how controversial it was.
Buzz 5. Buzz 5.
Buzz 1.
Buzz
Buzz 1.
5. Buzz 5.
Alan got that.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Okay, no, actually read it.
Oh,
I didn't
Man.
hear it, Gabe.
man, I missed this show. I forgot how controversial it was.
Yeah, okay, that's 5. That's 5.
Sure,
That's definitely
Jan.
5.
Sure, Jay. All right, Alan, you squeak out a win today.
Yep, I got a squeaker.
What is our overall thoughts on the first season of In Living Color? And are we giving it an alrighty then or a no spanky? I feel like we're all kind of in agreement here. This is an alrighty then.
This is
Yeah,
better,
there's no really
better than
dispute
porn.
here. It's just solid.
Definitely better than porn. Alrighty then.
Put that on the DVD case. Better than
Better
porn.
than
Alan
porn.
Seals.
I remember really laughing about this in high school. Better than porn.
I watched this with my best friends in high school. And then porn.
5 stars, baby.
I think that this is a really good first start for a sitcom. I think it's a change of pace for us. Like, if it was much easier to watch this than it was to watch Mike Hammer, for example.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, it was easier to watch this because they're short. They're sketches, right?
Yeah,
And,
it's
like, the
very-
nice thing about it is that if you don't like what the sketch you're watching is, fast forward to the next one. And you don't have to relearn a whole new set of, or you don't have to think you forgot anything in the story.
And the energy is high and people are interested in being involved. That's a big thing. Everyone wants to be there and wants to do a good job, and they're hungry to impress.
Yeah, and there's one episode, I forget what the episode is, but it ends with Jim Carrey like holding his daughter.
Yeah.
And everyone
my
like
gosh.
dances around her, and it like
Little
made my heart.
Jane.
It'd be a little Jane Carrey. It made my heart melt a little.
Here's the question, and here's an actual question. Keep this in or cut it out, but it is something that I thought about. His daughter, Jane, would go on to audition for American Idol. And in that episode of American Idol, she calls her dad. Do we include that episode in our list?
No. We already included that Conan documentary. We're not including that.
He is physically on camera in the Conan
don't-
documentary. I feel like if he's on camera, that's a different story, but...
No, I'm not watching an episode of American Idol for a podcast where we barely have anything to say.
I feel like maybe we should just do like, Alan's thinking differently.
I think we need to see it. Let's let the fans decide. You want us to cover it?
Yes.
Let us know.
Let the fan decide. Do you want us to do this? All right. Next week, we are not talking about In Living Color. We are talking about someone that I think I'm going to have a lot to say about and will reappear. Does the name, I believe, Steve Odenkirk, mean anything to you?
Yeah. Odenkirk. I'm thinking of Bob Odenkirk.
You're
Who's
thinking
Steve
of
Odenkirk.
Steve Odenkirk. Do you remember the Thumb Wars VHSs from the early 2000s?
Yes!
Do you remember, my name's Paul, from the end of Jimmy Neutron?
No, Jimmy Neutron was after my time.
That is one of those things that he... Do you remember Kung Pao? That...
That's Steve Odenkirk?
Yes.
Chosen one!
Did I get his name right?
Odekirk.
Odekirk, not Odenkirk. Yeah, Odekirk.
Oh, Odekirk. Steve Odekirk. Oh,
Yes.
man. Yes.
And
we will revisit this in the sequel, which never happened.
Well, it's coming.
Shut up.
He...
Kung Pao 2, Tongue of Fury.
He has a huge impact on Jim Carrey's career throughout his career, but his first outing with him is a little short film he made, and we're going to talk about that next week. Hopefully we'll have a fun guest or something. We don't know. Yeah, so get ready, get set, and we'll have some fun, but yeah, we'll be back to In Living Color after that. Speaking of Eugenes, thank you guys for listening. One of you has to be named Eugene. Follow us on iTunes and Spotify, Carried Away with Jess and Alan. On Twitter at Carried Away Pod, Instagram Carried Away Pod. Email us at carriedawaypodcast@gmail.com to tell us how wrong we are about In Living Color and how it's really just #problematic. Our title card is created by Grace Aki. Go follow them on Instagram at Grace Aki. This show is produced and edited by Elizabeth Eston. Our theme song is I Choose You by the band Thanks. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform, even though I burnt down our headquarters in Las Vegas.
We already rebuilt it. It's cool.
Well, it'll come down again, don't worry. Anything else we have left to say?
Not a damn thing.
Come back next week, kids.
You can do what you want to do.
I'm going to do my Fly Girl dance. In Living Color.
Do some finger
Ladies
tugging.
and gentlemen, Keenan Ivory Wayans
Has left the building.